And the game of the year is...
I knew Astrobot would win. Not because of insider information or data analytics, but because in a year dominated by ambitious open worlds, stunning visuals, and deeply intricate systems, Astrobot arrived and reminded us why we fell in love with video games in the first place. Astrobot wasn't just a game, it was a celebration of everything the medium has to offer, competing against the likes of Batro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Astrobot emerged victorious, not through scale, spectacle, or pre-existing fanbases, but through its sheer creativity, polish, and charm. While its competitors excelled in many areas, Astrobot combined tight platforming, joyful exploration, and impeccable design to create something universally appealing. In this video, we'll explore why Astrobot resonated so strongly with critics and players alike, in contrast to the other nominees. Batro carved out a significant following in 2024, combining roguelike mechanics with an innovative twist on deck-building strategy. It was deceptively simple to pick up, but offered layers of complexity for those willing to master its systems. The procedural generation kept players engaged for hours. Additionally, its clever use of the poker format, reimagined in a quirky, unpredictable way, made it stand out as one of the year's most inventive indie games. While the randomness and strategy of the card mechanics offered replayability, they also limited the game's ability to provide new, curated moments of joy or spectacle. Where Astrobot delivered handcrafted experiences, Batro relied more on systems-driven fun. This distinction was critical. Astrobot felt alive and full of personality, a constantly evolving journey where each stage surprised players, whereas Batro's procedural approach, while impressive, sometimes created a feeling of sameness over time. As a result, Batro felt slightly less dynamic and emotionally impactful, and ultimately couldn't compete with the sheer magic of Astrobot. Few games in 2024 were as visually impressive as Black Myth Wukong. Inspired by Journey to the West, this action RPG turned Chinese mythology into a breathtaking, immersive experience. From its awe-inspiring environments to its meticulously designed bosses, Black Myth Wukong stood as a testament to what's possible when cutting-edge technology meets artistic vision. The combat system, reminiscent of games like Sekiro and Dark Souls, was weighty, tactical, and rewarding, and it rightfully so won Action Game of the Year. However, Black Myth Wukong struggled to maintain momentum over time. While its visuals and combat were stellar, the gameplay loop often became repetitive. Its world, though beautiful, sometimes felt hollow, as exploration lacked the surprises and interactivity that made Astrobot's levels so engaging. Additionally, technical issues mainly on the PS5 version and inconsistent pacing dampened its overall experience. In contrast, Astrobot maintained a sense of joy and discovery from start to finish, offering new ideas and challenges in every stage. Where Black Myth Wukong impressed with spectacle, Astrobot captivated with its personality and inventiveness. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree had the weight of expectations on its shoulders as the expansion to one of the most celebrated games of all time. It delivered in many ways, offering new regions to explore, challenging bosses to conquer, and lore that deepened the already expansive world of Elden Ring. From Software once again showcased their mastery of atmospheric design and combat, drawing players back into the lands between with the promise of discovery and danger. Yet, for all its strengths, Shadow of the Erdtree will always feel like an extension of Elden Ring rather than a groundbreaking experience in its own right. As a DLC, it naturally lacked the standalone identity of Astrobot. It refined the systems of its predecessor but didn't push the medium forward or introduce radically new ideas. While Astrobot felt fresh and inventive, Shadow of the Erdtree, as brilliant as it was, relied on the foundation of a game we had already played. Furthermore, its high difficulty, a hallmark of From Software's games, remained a barrier for some players, making Astrobot's welcoming design all the more appealing. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second chapter in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, was a monumental release. It expanded on the story of Cloud and his companions with gorgeous visuals, refined combat, and bold narrative choices. Fans of the original game were treated to both nostalgia and surprises as Rebirth built on its predecessor's foundation with even more ambition. The combat system blended real-time action with tactical depth, providing thrilling encounters that rewarded strategy and skill. Despite its achievements, Rebirth faced challenges inherent to being the middle part of a trilogy. Its story, while compelling, felt incomplete, leaving players in a limbo as they waited for the conclusion. While the game delivered moments of brilliance, it sometimes leaned too heavily on its predecessor both narratively and mechanically. By contrast, Astro stood as a fully self-contained experience, delivering a complete and satisfying journey from beginning to end. Metaphor ReFantazio marked a bold new direction for the creators of Persona. With its surreal world, deep combat systems, and intricate narrative, it pushed the boundaries of the JRPG genre. The game's blend of traditional fantasy and surreal elements created a unique atmosphere. Metaphor was a visually striking and thematically rich experience that demonstrated its creator's signature style and creativity. However, its complexity proved to be a double-edged sword. The game's intricate systems and layered narrative could feel overwhelming, particularly for players unfamiliar with JRPGs. While Metaphor was intellectually and mechanically engaging, it lacked the universal emotional resonance that made Astro so impactful. Astro didn't need complexity to draw players in. It succeeded through simplicity, charm, and a focus on pure, unadulterated fun. In a year filled with ambitious games, Astro won Game of the Year because it reminded us of what makes gaming special. It wasn't about being the biggest, longest, or most complex game. Instead, Astro was a masterclass in creativity, polish, and sheer enjoyment. Its platforming mechanics were precise and satisfying, offering players a sense of flow and control that few games achieve. Each level introduced new ideas, challenges, and surprises, ensuring that the experience remained fresh from start to finish. The game also exuded charm and personality. Astro himself is a lovable character, and his journey through colorful, imaginative worlds felt like a love letter to gaming history. From clever homages to classic platformers to innovative mechanics that pushed the genre forward, Astro celebrated the past while looking toward the future. It was a game that anyone could pick up and enjoy regardless of skill level or experience. While its competitors excelled in their respective areas, whether it was Batro's strategy, Black Myth's visuals, or Metaphor's depth, none delivered the complete, universally appealing package that Astro offered. It was accessible yet challenging, nostalgic yet innovative, and simple yet sophisticated. Ultimately, Astro wasn't just the best game of the year. It was a celebration of what gaming is and what it can be. It reminded us that at their core, video games are about play, discovery, and joy. For that reason, Astro rightfully earned its place as 2024's Game of the Year.
Astro